There's been a lot of noise around Reform UK's proposed changes to indefinite leave to remain and the path to citizenship. Let's clear it up. These proposals are aimed at people who've been granted status but never worked, never contributed, and continue to live off the system. If you're here legally, if you work, pay taxes, and contribute to Britain, you are not the target. Reform UK believes in strong borders, fair rules, and rewarding those who do the right thing. This is about ending abuse, not hurting good people.
We are here to make massive future cuts to welfare spending. I promised we'd announce this or something like this at our conference a few weeks ago. We are the party that will make massive cuts to welfare spending. And if we don't, well, what is coming down the track will best part bankrupt us, although some might say we're almost there, looking at the 30-year gilt yields this morning. Under a Reform government, welfare will be for UK citizens only. It will not be for foreign-born nationals. Indeed, we'll become like most normal countries in the world. On health, on roads. But I've been told for 20 years to shut up and go away, because it's good for the economy. It's good for the economy, and that is all that matters. Well, quite how you measure quality of life against the economy, I don't know. But now we're beginning to learn the truth, that simply what we've been told on this wasn't true. Far too many that have come don't work, have never worked, and never will work. The ability to bring dependents of all kinds. And when you realise that most that come are very low skilled and on very low wages, you start to get a very, very different picture. In fact, you start to get a massive benefits bill.
Britain is facing a looming fiscal disaster. The Boris wave, in fact, actually the biggest betrayal the Tory government inflicted on this country has not yet exploded. That is the Boris wave. That is the millions of largely low-skilled, unskilled, non-EU migrants that were allowed to come to this country with more dependents than ever before, who will, in the coming years, be eligible to apply for indefinite, for ILR, indefinite leave to remain. So how do we solve this problem? And how do we finally, as Nigel says, put British people first, give British young people asymmetric access to our labour market, sort out the fact that for decades now actually in this country, business has had unlimited access to dirt cheap foreign labour at the expense of British workers, and probably most punishing of all for the long-suffering British taxpayer, the enormous amount of money that is spent on welfare at the behest of the British taxpayer for foreign nationals. So here's our solution. Firstly, we abolish ILR altogether. We will replace it with a 5-year renewable work visa, just like a lot of other countries do, America, the UAE, many comparators out there. The qualifying salary for this work visa will be materially higher than it is today. The specific number will be determined by our net fiscal modelling close to a general election, because that's the sensible and responsible thing to do, but it will be materially higher than it is today.
Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, has responded to your plans today, and he says thousands of Londoners have indefinite leave to remain, they have legal rights and are our friends, neighbours and colleagues. He goes on to say threatening to deport people living and working here legally is unacceptable. What's your response?
What about the ones that aren't working? What about the ones that have never worked and never will work? What about having an honest debate about those we've let into this country, many of whom are great people? Fine, we understand that, but too many of whom are not. We've totally misunderstood what a work permit, what a work visa is. It's been a backdoor to full-time settlement. And look, you know, we will do battle with Mayor Khan in the 32 London boroughs that are up for election next May. And I'll answer more directly questions from him when the time comes.